The morning sun splashed golden light across the live studio, but something felt different, an energy shift, so subtle that only the most loyal viewers noticed it. The stage crew moved quietly, almost cautiously, as if they sensed that the day carried a weight that couldn't be ignored. When Kelly Ripa walked onto the set, her usual spark seemed dimmed. She greeted the audience warmly, but her smile trembled at the edges. Moments later, Mark stepped out beside her, but instead of his familiar charm and effortless brightness, he carried a seriousness that immediately tightened every chest in the room. The applause faded. A heavy quiet settled. Kelly glanced at Mark with eyes that glistened just a little too much for morning television. Mark took a slow breath. We have something important to share today," he began, voice softer than usual. "Something that's been weighing on us for a while." Kelly looked down, her fingers interlacing nervously with his. The crowd leaned forward. Mark continued. "After months of thinking, reflecting, talking with my family, I've decided it's time for me to step away from live." A collective gasp rippled across the studio. Cameras tightened on Kelly's face as shock flickered across her features. Shock, sadness, disbelief. She whispered, barely audible, "Mark." He gave her a small, pained smile. "This wasn't easy. This show has been a blessing. Being able to work beside you, one of the greatest gifts of my life." His voice cracked, and he paused to steady himself. "But I need to take a step back. For my health, for my peace, for some personal projects I've been neglecting, and honestly, to reconnect with parts of myself I've put on hold." Kelly inhaled sharply, trying to hold herself together. The audience watched her with sympathetic silence. She blinked quickly, fighting the emotion rising behind her lashes. "Why didn't you tell me you had made up your mind?" Kelly asked quietly, her voice wavering. Mark's shoulders softened. "I didn't want to hurt you. I knew how deeply this would affect you. Affect us." Kelly turned toward the viewers, attempting to regain her composure. "We've shared so many years together, so many memories, so much laughter," she said, her voice trembling. "We're partners in life, but we're also partners here. Letting go of one part of that, it feels like losing something precious." Mark reached for her hand, squeezing gently. "I'm not leaving you. I'm just leaving the chair next to you." Still, the weight of the moment hung thick. For years, fans had adored watching the couple's chemistry, equal parts hilarious, heartwarming, and real. Their banter felt like home to millions. After a brief pause, Kelly lifted her chin and wiped the corner of her eye with the tissue the crew quietly handed her. "When you first joined the show, I felt like everything clicked in a new way. But I also knew you were here because you love me, not necessarily because you wanted this job." Mark chuckled softly. "I wanted time with you. Simple as that. And now you're choosing something different," Kelly whispered. "I'm choosing growth," he replied gently. "And I'm choosing to be the best version of myself, for you, for our family, for everyone." The audience rose in a standing ovation, cheering through their own shock. Mark looked touched, overwhelmed, grateful. Kelly finally allowed herself a soft, bittersweet smile. "Well," she said, "I guess this isn't goodbye, just change." Mark nodded. "A new chapter." And as the lights dimmed and the show went into commercial break, the couple embraced, holding on to the one thing that would never change.